Okay, you're good.
We're convening the Safety Committee to discuss Ordinance 2023-02, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and director of finance to enter into an agreement for salaries and benefits with the Capital City Lodge Number 9 of the Fraternal Order of Police and declaring it an emergency. Second reading. So there were many changes in this, and I met with Megan to review some of that in the material discussed in the executive session. And I don't know, Megan or Greta, if you wanted to highlight some of the changes.
Do you want me to, or would you like
well, there, you have the red line. I went through an executive session, which I forgot you weren't there. Obviously, the big one is the rates of pay, 5%, 3.75, and 3.75, and that Sergeant 2 shall be 15.8% higher than top officer pay. Other highlights are we added the deputy chief. Let's see, clarify the probationary period as to bargaining unit membership. Lateral hiring language from the MOU. As you know, we've been recruiting laterals, and we had intended to negotiate and did negotiate this in this contract. We added Juneteenth as a holiday. We added one personal leave day per year. Some other leave things. Let's see, drug and alcohol testing. We intend to, but haven't fully negotiated a random drug and alcohol testing program, and so that is in process. There's a good faith agreement to work that out as to the terms. Physical fitness and mental wellness, we added a mental health wellness incentive, and that's a mandatory program where people at least would see someone for an hour a year. And we added physical fitness incentive, and then finally a bilingual pay, $250 annual stipend for bilingual employees. So those are highlights. I think I think the money is always the big one, and Megan can explain how we got there, but the general rule is we try to stay somewhere in the middle and be competitive. And it is a very competitive environment. And Megan had some charts that were handed out. I don't know if you brought those tonight, but those were handed out in executive session, so I did not keep mine.
I did not bring them with me, but as the mayor said, the 5% in the first year is kind of a market rate adjustment. We created a chart where we compared to other Central Ohio police officers. We want to stay in the middle. We were towards the bottom, so this 5% brings us right up to the middle. And then 3.75 for the next 2 years. We thought was reasonable. It was in line with what some of the other contracts have in place, at least for next year. We're part of a group that's, there's different, on 3-year terms, there are different cities negotiating at all times. So we thought that this was a reasonable pay. The Sergeant 2 pay, we found that our sergeants were making 14.8% more than officers, which is below the average. So we increased that to the average, which is 15.8.
Okay, thank you. And are there any questions or comments?
I had one. I was curious to get to ask this in executive session. So the mental health program, really supportive of that. I was just curious, the one session per year, is that meant to be evaluative or like just a open counseling session?
It's meant to be an open counseling session.
Nice.
And both sides, we're hoping to get that, it's something that people are comfortable doing, and hopefully they will find it useful and maybe extend that. Our health insurance, our EAP program, provides for counseling services, so hopefully this will be a push in the right direction to make sure everybody's mentally healthy and kind of understanding what counseling is and how it can be helpful.
One thing just to consider with that, because I'm a little bit familiar to some support of colleagues in this space, sometimes the first session is just like an intake session. So I don't know with that, you might not get a real counseling session until the second one, just to be aware of. So.
And that may be something that we learn, and in future contracts we can negotiate, additional sessions or,
Yeah.
But both sides were in favor of doing this, so I think it's a great step. And Then we also added the physical fitness piece, which is also very important, and we're
Yeah.
hoping to have a healthier police force.
And that one too is like it would be like a physical essentially, like
It's like a-
checkup kind of, yeah.
It's like a monitored, measured fitness test.
Oh.
So there are standards in the contract, so many push-ups or certain
Yeah,
amount, you've
that's
run a
right.
mile. There's different things that you can do in there. And if you achieve one level, you get one payment amount. If you achieve a higher level, a more difficult level, you get additional funds.
Okay, so that's why there's kind of there's the mandatory piece, and there's incentives for going above and beyond.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then we also want to suspend the rules and pass this tonight on the second reading. So I would move to recommend suspending the rules and passing this tonight on the second reading. All in favor?
Second.
Or second, sorry.
That's second.
Mhm.
No,
Okay.
call roll.
Oh,
After a second, if they call.
but then, so let me just ask,
Mhm.
is that what we are doing in the committee? I mean, I know we'll do that in the council, but when I was watching back on finance meeting, there was just a calling of a roll that they were in favor of that, but because we want to do a rule suspension, then we need to call the roll here.
No, it's common. I mean, that way there's an opportunity for anyone to vote opposed or to have
Probably-
extended conversation. It's just part
Probably
of the
just got very
process.
casual, and so maybe that stuff wasn't.
And it might have been,
But-
it may have been entertaining emotion,
Okay.
and by saying that, you're effectively, then whoever moves is effectively the second.
The second,
because,
it's
yeah.
enough votes, because it's 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
But you're,
so-
Michelle's saying they
Nonetheless,
skipped
I don't think you
the
can mess it
second.
up either way.
That's the motion, sorry, the second. They missed the second, is what you're saying. The seconding of the motion.
I think it was an all in favor saying
Oh,
aye.
okay. I
Instead
misheard
of the
you.
calling of the roll.
Oh, I
Okay.
understand,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So we call it a voice vote. I should have said that instead of roll call. I apologize.
Okay.
Voice vote, yeah.
So- just
We're
aware.
only doing the voice vote in the committee meetings.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Okay, so,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. And
Sure.
then, if there's nothing else, we'll end this committee, safety committee meeting at 5:14.
Is the packet current? Just, yeah, everything's fine as far as there wasn't any modification.
Well, the packet did not contain the copy
The
of the
contract,
contract.
right.
But everything else.
But the,
But it's stayed
The
the
cover
same.
sheet was fixed, it now shows that there is a suspension of the rules.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And the final contract will have a wage table in there, but it'll just reflect the amounts that are in that red line.
And would you say again to Megan, just the reason for suspending the rules on this one was so that the contract can go in place sooner?
Yes, because it is retroactive to the
Okay.
beginning of the year, so
Okay.
that allows for a lot less work in
Oh, you
paying
don't have
your
to do
pay
payroll
and doing the
corrections.
pension.
Paying
Yes.
Okay, got it.
we're adjourned.
Yeah.
She adjourned.
We're adjourned. Okay, thank you.